The blind beggar accepted the coin, then locked both hands around the giver's wrist. "Now hit me." Years earlier, that same man had owned 80 camels. Soon, all 80 would be loaded with gold, and he would still reach for one small wooden box. The stranger on the bridge tried to pull free. "Take the money back," the beggar said, "or give me one blow. I accept nothing without punishment." In the legendary Baghdad of this tale, the stranger was Harun al-Rashid, the Caliph and ruler of Baghdad, walking its streets unrecognized. He refused at first. The beggar held on. At last, the Caliph struck him lightly on the shoulder, left the bridge, and ordered that the man be brought to the palace the following evening. There, the Caliph asked why an act of kindness had to end in pain. The beggar lowered his head. His name was Baba-Abdalla. "Because I once received more than any man could reasonably ask for," he said, "and ruined it by asking for more." To explain the beggar on the bridge, he began with the merchant who owned 80 camels. Baba had been orphaned young. His parents left him a modest inheritance, and he built it into a caravan business, one profitable journey at a time. Eventually, merchants paid him to carry goods along the roads between Baghdad and Basra. He had not discovered his fortune or inherited the camels. He had earned them. One afternoon, returning from Basra, Baba stopped near good pasture and rested beneath a tree. A dervish came along the road, a spiritual mendicant traveling on foot. Baba offered him shade. The two men shared their food and talked. Then the dervish mentioned a treasure. It lay close by, he said, hidden in a place no traveler would find. All 80 camels could be loaded to their limit with its riches, and the chamber would still appear untouched. Baba threw his arms around the man. "Show me where it is. I will fill my caravan and give you 1 camel for your trouble." 1 camel, for the man who owned the secret. The dervish answered calmly, "I could have kept the treasure to myself. Instead, I offered to make both of us rich. We will load the camels, divide them equally, and leave with 40 each." Baba knew the bargain was fair. He hated it anyway. The treasure did not yet belong to him, but the thought of another man receiving an equal share already felt like a loss. Still, half an impossible fortune was better than none. He agreed. The dervish led him toward 2 mountains with cliffs too steep to climb. Between them was an opening so narrow that the camels had to enter one at a time. Inside the valley, the dervish kindled a small fire. He scattered perfume onto the flame and spoke words Baba did not understand. A column of smoke rose, split in two, and drifted apart. The rock between the mountains opened. Beyond it stood a palace filled with gold and precious stones. Baba rushed to the nearest pile and began filling a sack with coins. Then he saw the dervish selecting gems and immediately began collecting gems as well. They loaded all 80 camels with gold and jewels. Before closing the rock, the dervish reached into a great golden vase. He removed a small wooden box, no larger than his palm, and slipped it inside his robe. Baba noticed. Outside the valley, the men divided the caravan exactly as promised. 40 camels for Baba, 40 for the dervish. At the fork in the road, they embraced. Baba thanked him, turned toward Baghdad, and walked away richer than he had ever imagined. Then he looked back. 40 treasure-laden camels were following the dervish toward Basra. Baba's own 40 suddenly felt like none at all. He ran after him. "Brother, I have been thinking of you. Managing 40 camels is difficult, especially for a man accustomed to traveling alone. Let me relieve you of 10. The dervish understood the argument for what it was. Rather than quarrel, he told Baba to choose 10. Baba now had 50 camels. He turned toward Baghdad, but the dervish had taken only a few steps when Baba called again. 30 is still too many. You will thank me for taking 10 more." Again, the dervish yielded. Now Baba had 60. The dervish had 20. Those 20 became the only camels Baba could see. He returned a third time. The careful argument collapsed into pleading, flattery, embraces, and pressure. He persisted until the dervish surrendered the final 20. All 80 treasure-laden camels now belonged to Baba-Abdalla. The dervish stood alone on the road. "Use this wealth well," he said. "Remember the people in need at your gate." Baba barely heard him. He had learned the wrong lesson from every concession. If a boundary stood between him and something he wanted, he only had to ask again. His attention settled on the dervish's robe. "One more thing. That little box cannot be useful to you. You may as well give it to me." The dervish held it out. Inside was a dark ointment. "Touch a little to your left eye," the dervish said, "and you will see every treasure hidden beneath the earth. But if it touches your right eye, you will lose your sight forever." Baba asked him to apply it to the left eye. When that eye opened, the ground seemed to turn transparent. Beneath the road, beyond the mountains, under stone no tool had disturbed, he saw chambers of coins, buried jewels, veins of gold, riches without number. The dervish had told the truth, but Baba had to keep his right eye closed to see the vision. And soon he demanded that the dervish touch that eye too. "No," the dervish said. "The right eye will not reveal treasure. It will destroy your sight." Baba smiled as if he had caught the man concealing a final advantage. "The same ointment cannot have two opposite powers." "It can, believe me." "Then perhaps the other eye does more. One eye shows me the treasure. The other may show me how to possess it." The dervish closed the box. "Think what it means never to see again. I will not do this." Baba pushed the box back toward him. Every earlier limit had moved when Baba pressed it. Now he treated this warning like another opening bid. "I accept whatever follows," he said. "I will never blame you. Do it." The dervish warned him once more. Baba insisted once more. At last the dervish complied. He touched the ointment to Baba's closed right eye. Baba opened it. The buried chambers vanished. The road vanished. The camels, the mountains, the sky, all of it disappeared into darkness. For a moment, Baba shouted at the dervish. Then he stopped. "You warned me," he said. "The choice was mine. Can you restore my sight?" "No, I know no remedy." The dervish gathered the 80 camels. He said the treasure would pass to people who might use it better, then began walking toward Basra. Baba heard the harnesses tighten and the caravan start to move. "Brother, wait. At least lead me within reach of the next travelers." The dervish refused. Baba called after him, but the bells and footsteps faded down the road. He remained there through the night. The following day, passing merchants heard his voice. They brought him water, made room for him in their caravan, and returned him safely to Baghdad. His camels and his trading business were gone. He survived on alms, but shame gave him a new rule. He would accept no gift unless the giver struck him first. He could not return the treasure, so he tried to collect his punishment one coin at a time. That was why he had seized the disguised Caliph's wrist on the bridge. Back in the palace, Baba finished his confession and waited. Harun al-Rashid studied him for a long moment. "Your greed was serious," the Caliph said, "but you have suffered enough. This public vow sets a harmful example. It ends tonight. Repent in private. I will see that your daily needs are met." Baba bowed at the Caliph's feet. This time he accepted the gift without adding a condition of his own. After that, no coin required a blow.